Hi everyone, and welcome to SUTD. I'm Peter Ortner, Assistant Professor of Architecture and Sustainable Design, and I'll be taking you on a tour of our campus today. Our first stop will be with Professor Bige Tunser, who will be showing us the distinctive architecture of our campus.
Our campus is designed by UN Studio as the design architects and DP architects as the project architects. UN Studio is very well known for making the circulation system the driver of their design process. And this is well established in our campus as well. You see these strips of circulation places on our facade, which are also colored with green and maroon. And these spaces, as we walk around the building, give us very unexpected views and vistas of different places in our campus, as well as creating social pocket spaces where the students and others can socialize, study, and create social relationships.
We're now in SUTD's campus center, and we're looking at the 10-year anniversary time capsule, which was created by our professor, Carlos Banon, who will now give you a quick tour.
The design of the time capsule was conceived as a two-sided landscape. It creates an immersive experience inside and also detaches the user from the outside. To generate this smooth surface, we develop a parametric script that works with circle packing algorithms. We 3D printed more than 4,000 unique tiles connected into a foam of a fabric using biopolymer plastic. It produced zero wastage in the fabrication.
Here we are at the SUTD IDC, the International Design Center. This is a multi-year research partnership with international universities like MIT. Here you can see one of the projects from the IDC. This is a 3D printed reconstruction of a sculpture from the Yuan Hai Xing Temple here in Singapore. This was created by our professors Yo Kangshua and Professor Stylianos Dritsos. Over here you can see another beautiful model. This was created by our professor Thomas Schroepfer. This is for the Future of Us Pavilion, which was designed for the SG50 celebrations, the 50th anniversary celebrations here in Singapore. This pavilion is constructed and visitable today at the Gardens by the Bay. This is one of our architecture studios here at SUTD. As an architecture student, this is where you will spend most of your time doing designs like this or like this. Our students come here to socialize. They come here to interact with faculty and learn from each other. This is the heart of our technology-oriented design culture. Here we are at SUTD's Chinese house. It's actually two historic Chinese houses that are more than 300 years old. These structures were donated by Mr. Jackie Chan. We're very pleased to host them here on our campus. You can see that they're floating inside of an eco pond, which collects rainwater from the surrounding areas and filters it through the plantings that you see around it. The reconstruction of these heritage buildings was actually overseen by one of our professors, Professor Yo Kangshua, and he'll tell you a little bit more about it now.
Welcome to the Ming and Xing Dynasty Chinese house in SUTD. This house where I'm standing is the Ming Dynasty house. The house behind is the Qing Dynasty house. Collectively, they are known as the oldest Chinese structures in Singapore. They are older than the modern founding of Singapore in 1819, with the Ming Dynasty's house approximately 450 years old. When the structures were first donated to SUTD, I was asked to visit a warehouse in overseas to take a look at the structures in order to understand them. When I entered the warehouse, they were in a disassembled state. Timbers and the stones and the roof tiles were all in disassembled and they were piled up on one another. So one of the first things to understand is how the structure looked like. All we have is a couple of 3R photographs taken around 20 or 30 years ago in a state prior to their disassembly. So the first thing is to categorize the timber logs into two categories, beams and columns. And with some basic measurements, we're able to give a hypothesis of how it might look like and the area which it requires. After the components is shipped to Singapore, we will carry out a LiDAR scan, essentially a laser scanning of all components. And with a digital model of all the components, we'll start in the computer to compile the jigsaw puzzle together. So this is the first step and the most important step, and in a way, the most complicated step to able for us to understand and put together a trial assembly of the components in the computer. Thereafter, we will be able to issue construction drawings for the eventual construction. This beam that we're looking at is the largest beam of this Ming Dynasty structure. It's known colloquially as a Donggua Liang or melon beam because it looks like a winter melon. This beam is approximately 500 kg in weight, and during the erection we have to use just three manpower with the aid of chain blocks to lift it up.
This is SUTD's Fabrication Lab. Right now we're standing in the assembly hall. This massive space is used by our students and faculty to create very large-scale projects. We're going to take you upstairs now to show you some of the digital fabrication tools that our students work with on a daily basis. Additive manufacturing, or 3D printing, is one of the major ways that our students create their work here in the Fabrication Lab. Here you can see one of our banks of 3D printers that is busy running away creating some student projects right now. Thanks for joining us on our campus tour, and we'll see you next time.